Hey, friend. Grab a drink and get comfortable, because I'm about to tell you the biggest secret nobody ever teaches you in school. The money you see in your banking app, most of it does not actually exist. I'm dead serious. If every single person on the planet walked into their bank tomorrow morning and said, "I want all my money in cash right now," the banks would run out of real notes before lunch. The entire world economy would freeze that same afternoon. And here's the craziest part. That's not a mistake. That's how the system is designed on purpose. Most people think a bank works like this. You give them your paycheck, they put it in a giant safe, they guard it for you, when you want it back, they open the safe and hand it over. That sounds safe and fair, right? Wrong. That's a fairy tale. The truth is way wilder, and once you hear it, you'll never look at your bank balance the same way again. Let's go back in time so you can see exactly how this trick started. Hundreds of years ago, real money was gold and silver coins. You could bite them, feel the weight, and know they were valuable. Rich people hated carrying heavy bags of gold on the road because highway robbers were everywhere. So they started doing something smart. They took their gold to the local goldsmith. Goldsmiths had the strongest vaults in town. Thick stone walls, huge iron doors, armed guards, the works. You hand over 100 gold coins. The goldsmith locks them up and gives you a paper receipt, a simple piece of paper that says, "Bring this note back any time, and I'll give you your 100 gold coins." Perfect system. After a while, something interesting happened. People realized they didn't need to keep running back to the goldsmith to pick up the actual gold. They could just trade the paper receipts with each other. The baker accepts your receipt as payment for bread. The blacksmith takes it for a new sword. Everyone trusts the receipt, because everyone knows the goldsmith is honest, and the gold is sitting safely in his vault. Life got easier. Paper was lighter than gold. When now comes the moment everything changed forever. One day, the goldsmith is sitting in his shop, looking at his giant vault full of gold that belongs to hundreds of customers, and he notices something huge. Almost nobody ever comes back to collect their actual gold. Maybe 1 or 2 people a month show up. The rest of the gold just sits there, year after year, doing absolutely nothing. So the goldsmith gets an idea. A sneaky, brilliant, world-changing idea. He thinks, what if I write extra receipts for gold I don't actually have, and lend those receipts to people who need money? I'll charge them interest, and as long as not everybody shows up on the same day asking for their gold, no one will ever find out. He starts doing it. A merchant needs money to buy spices from a ship that just arrived. The goldsmith hands him receipts for 50 gold coins that don't actually exist in the vault. The merchant pays the ship captain. The captain uses the receipts around town. Everyone is happy, and the goldsmith gets paid interest every month. Pure profit from thin air. The goldsmith just became the world's first banker, and he invented money creation out of nothing. That one little trick is the foundation of every single bank on earth today. Fast forward to the present day. You get paid $2,000 on Friday. You deposit it in your bank using your phone. Easy. You look at your app and see $2,000 sitting there. Feels safe, right? Here's what actually happens behind the scenes. In most countries, and in the United States, since March 2020, the bank is allowed to keep 0% of your money in reserve. That's not a typo. 0%. The moment your $2,000 hits their system, they can immediately lend out every single dollar of it. But wait, how do you still see $2,000 still show up in your account if they already lent it away? Because when the bank lends your $2,000 to Mike so he can buy a used car, Mike pays the car seller. The car seller deposits that same $2,000 in his own bank, and now both you and the car seller see $2,000 in your accounts. The same $2,000 now exists in 2 places at the same time. Mind officially blown yet? And it doesn't stop there. The car seller's bank can take that $2,000 and lend most of it out again to someone else. That person spends it, that person deposits it on. The cycle repeats over and over. Your original $2,000 can easily get multiplied into $20,000 or more, floating around the economy. All created with a few clicks on a computer but only the very first $2,000 is actual cash. Everything else is just numbers on screens, promises. This is called the money multiplier, and it's how 90 to 97% of all the money we use every single day gets created. Not by the government printing press, not by digging gold out of the ground, by regular banks, every time they make a loan. Here's the part that will keep you up tonight. When you go get a mortgage for $400,000 to buy your dream house, the bank does not go looking for $400,000 sitting in someone else's savings account. They simply open your file and type $400,000 into your account. That money did not exist 1 second earlier. It is created the instant you sign the loan papers. You now get to buy the house. The seller gets paid, and everything looks completely normal. But you have to pay back that $400,000 plus hundreds of thousands in interest over the next 30 years. So the money supply just grew by $400,000 because you agreed to go into debt. That's it. Almost every dollar, euro, pound, or yen in circulation today was born the exact same way as someone else's loan. That creates 3 giant problems that can never, ever be fixed as long as we use this system. Problem number 1. There is always more debt in the world than actual money, because every loan comes with interest. Let's say the only money in the world is $100, created when you borrowed it from the bank. You have to pay back $110 because of 10% interest. But there is still only $100 in existence. Where does the extra $10 come from? Someone else has to borrow more money so you can earn it and pay the interest. If nobody borrows more, someone somewhere has to default. That means debt can never all be paid off. Someone always loses. The game is mathematically rigged. Problem number 2. Inflation is guaranteed forever. Every year, banks create billions and trillions in new loans. More money chasing the same amount of houses, food, cars, and PlayStations. Equals prices go up. Your parents could buy a house for $30,000. Today, the same house costs $400,000. That's not because houses got 13 times better. It's because the money supply exploded while you were alive. Inflation is not a bug. It's the engine oil of the entire system. Problem number 3. The whole economy collapses if people stop borrowing. Imagine tomorrow everyone wakes up, pays off their credit cards, car loans, mortgages, student loans, everything. Sounds amazing, right? No more debt. Wrong. If all loans are paid back, all that bank-created money disappears. The money supply shrinks by 90% overnight. Shops have no customers. Companies lay off workers. Prices crash. Unemployment explodes. The system literally needs you and me to stay in debt forever just to keep running. That's why governments and banks panic when people start saving instead of spending. Now let's talk about who wins and who loses in this game. The winners are big banks. They collect interest on money they created with a key. Governments, they can borrow unlimited amounts without raising taxes. Too much people who already own assets, houses, land, stocks, gold, Bitcoin, because new money pushes asset prices higher every year. The losers are regular workers who save cash in a bank account. Inflation eats it alive. Young people trying to buy their first home. Prices keep running away. Anyone living paycheck to paycheck in debt, cash in the bank is the slowest horse in this race. So, what is real wealth, then? Real wealth is anything that keeps or grows its value, even when the money printer goes crazy. Examples: a paid-off house, land physical, gold and silver. You can hold a profitable small business skills that are always in demand: plumbing, coding, nursing, etc. Bitcoin or other scarce digital assets. Tools, equipment, solar panels, things that save or make you money. Those things don't disappear just because a bank has a bad day. History proves this over and over. In the 1800s in America, there were bank runs all the time. People panicked, rushed to the bank, and discovered the money wasn't there. Thousands of banks failed. In the 1930s Great Depression, 1/3 of all U.S. banks collapsed because they had lent out way more than they had. In 2008, the world almost ended because banks had created trillions in fake mortgage money. When people stopped paying, the dominoes started falling. Every single time, The solution was the same. Central banks printed even more money, gave it to the banks, and told everyone, go back to sleep. Everything is fine. But every rescue just makes the next crash bigger. We are now at the biggest debt party in human history. Global debt is over $300 trillion. Most of it is promises built on other promises, and it only keeps growing. So what should you do with this information? You don't have to become a doomsday prepper, but you do need to wake up. Here are practical steps anyone can start today. Get rid of expensive debt, fast credit cards, payday loans, car loans over 7%. That interest is killing you. Keep only kurang 6 months of living expenses in the bank as cash. Anything more is losing value every day. Turn the rest of your money into real things. Pay extra on your mortgage, buy a small rental property if you can. Put some money in physical gold or silver, start a side business, learn high-income skills. Own things that go up when the money printer runs, real estate in good areas, quality stocks, Bitcoin, gold. Live below your means. The less you need, the freer you are. The system wants you afraid, in debt, and chasing the next paycheck. Once you see the trick, you can step out of that trap. You are not powerless. The money in your bank account is mostly an IOU from a bank that creates money from nothing. Real wealth is what's left when people stop believing in IOUs. Start building that kind of wealth today, even if it's just $50 a month into something real. 10 years from now, you'll thank yourself. And 20 years from now, your kids will thank you. The game has been running for centuries. The goldsmiths started it. The banks perfected it. But you get to choose whether you keep playing by their rules or start playing a different game. Stay awake, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.